Married at First Sight, Season 15, San Diego. And this video recap is for the after party, everyone. I hope y'all had a great week. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you listen to my channel regularly, thank you for all your support. But I'm ready to talk about this after party because we finally got a glimpse onto what type of person is Mitch really attracted to. And also, who would Ben normally be attracted to? Because, if you watch my videos, I don't think Ben really likes Morgan. I really don't think he likes Morgan. And when I say like her, I mean not like she's not a nice person, but I don't think she's his type. And I don't think he's physically attracted to her. Well, we got 3 people this season where there's an attraction problem, question mark, hanging above their heads. Do they or don't they? First of all, we know is Mitch really attracted to Kristen? Then sometimes we wonder, is Alexis really attracted to Justin, or is she just playing? And then I don't know if y'all think it, but I know I think it. Is Ben really attracted to Morgan, or is he just being nice? Because one thing I say about Ben, and if you watch my other videos, because I do separate videos on all the couples, Ben just loves to laugh and smile and have a good time. I think this man could laugh and smile through a prostate exam. I really do. But anyway, we found out who their celebrity crushes are. And Mitch said his celebrity crush, he told the experts, was Jessica Biel. And Justin said he didn't really have a physical type. He said he goes more on the inside than the outside. Okay, Justin, I believe him, because I think that Justin has so much capacity to love. He could almost love anybody. So I actually believe him. And then you have Ben, who said he thought that he was going to get matched with a Blasian girl or Filipino. So are we talking about somebody like Cassie here, who used to be, with P. Diddy or whatever? Are we even talking about a Noy type from last year? I could see the Noy type being Ben's type. I really could, y'all. At least in terms of looks. I'm not necessarily in personality, but in terms of looks, I could see Ben being attracted to the Noy type, because she is pretty. And I think that she has kind of more, a little bit of the swag that Ben has. Because Ben got swag, y'all. I don't know what everybody else is saying out here. Ben does have some swag to him. So like I said, the 3 men on the show were Mitch, Justin, and Ben. And the drink of the day was called a honeymoon highball, which was some spiced rum, some bitter, and some ginger ale. That was the drink that they were drinking. And it was an all men after party this time. So Keisha and I pull him, open up, start talking to Ben about all them condoms on the table. Did you use the condoms? Did anything get hot and steamy after the honeymoon night? And Ben was, I said he got swag, but Ben was like, no, we didn't use them because they were too big. They were extra large. Oh, maybe I need to take back having swag. But he was like, my mama told me to practice safe sex, and those condoms were too big, and I wasn't going to have no sex with them falling off. But it was a joke. We know it was a joke, but he made himself the butt of the joke, because when any man talks about the condom was too big, that's making himself the butt of the joke. But anyway, I thought it was kind of funny. So Keisha and I pull him and ask him, what do you think of Morgan? What do you like about Morgan at this time? And he says she's outgoing, she's adventurous. Then he starts using the word cool. Oof. I tell you, Morgan gets demoted every time Ben talks. When Ben first started talking about Morgan back on the first episode at the wedding day, he said she was pretty. Then she went from pretty to cute. And then she went from cute to cool. I'm telling you, Ben is not attracted to Morgan. She didn't start that high up. She was like pretty. Oh, she's pretty. And then he went to she's cute. Now, when a guy calls you cute, cute is a word you use for like a little puppy dog or a little bit of baby. Oh, the baby's so cute. I don't necessarily think you want your husband to say you cute. I think you want to be higher up in the ranks. Like, you want to be pretty. You want to be hot. You want to be a lot of other things. But cute is like just being nice. Oh, you're cute. Okay, Ben. I know he ain't attracted to Morgan. I know he ain't. And then Mitch is like, what? He thinks there's some attraction maybe brewing there. And Justin is like, I think they have chemistry together. They just talking. They know these two ain't got no chemistry. They ain't got nothing in common. I'm telling you. Ben and Morgan don't have anything in common. But Ben was saying on his wedding night, the only thing that really probably happened that was a little out of the ordinary, he says he likes to eat carbs and sweets in his sleep. He says that, because he denies himself carbs and sweets, I guess because he's such a workout king. He says that in his sleep, he lives out his fantasies, and he eats on sugar and carbs through his sleep. That's funny. But they switch on over to Mitch and they start talking about, how your date was on the paddle boards with Kristen. And he's like, yeah, it's something I feel comfortable with. If you look at my video on Kristen and Mitch this episode, I talk about that, how it's so obvious and that Mitch would choose a paddleboard. It's something he's good at, something he can feel confident about. I told you in my video, Mitch suffers from low self-esteem. He has a real self-esteem problem, and it's playing out the way he projects onto Kristen. He starts talking about he's happy they're paddleboarding because it's in his comfort zone. It's something he knows. It's something that he can relax in because he already knows how to do it, and he doesn't have to be so self-conscious. Blah, 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 blah. Like I said, everything is always about Mitch's own comfort. But Mitch talking about, he's a person that, he feels as if he's not comfortable a lot of times. He always feels like he's out of place, but he feels like more he's the normal one and the world is crazy. He done shown up at this after party with these little flip-flop sandals on, which we probably know ain't got no plastic in them. They all natural. Maybe they made of seaweed or something, some biodegradable material, recycled material. We don't know. He likes to make a statement. They started telling the story that when they were all getting shaved ice, and you know how they give you a little spoon that goes in shaved ice, Mitch, he can't even touch plastic. He might break out in, I don't know, monkeypox or something. But anyway, he's like, he had to eat it with his hand because his lips can't touch plastic. But you know what? It was interesting because Mitch had a little revelation. He was talking about, they were going over what the things he was saying to Chris in this last episode, and he had a revelation. These after parties are filmed a ways after the episodes. So he actually honed in on the fact that him vomiting his feelings all over Kristen so early was actually a selfish act. I couldn't believe it. I darn near fell out my chair. I couldn't believe that Mitch realized that him expressing his feelings so early onto Kristen that he wasn't attracted to her was also a way of relieving himself, making himself feel better. And in a way, it was a selfish act. Bingo, Mitch. That's what you do. In order to make yourself feel comfortable, you are very good at making everybody else uncomfortable so you could feel comfortable. He had a little bit of self-reflection. I wonder what caused that. He says he wish he could have remained a little bit more calm, cool, and collected through all this, but he didn't. So it sounds like he says he regrets that. And they were asking, well, on one hand, Mitch, you're talking about how you weren't attracted to Kristen, but the next thing you know, you was getting hot and heavy and all bothered. How you can go from 0 to 100 that fast? And he's like, well, you know what? When I rejected her, her confidence, the way she handled it came off sexy. That's dysfunctional. So you mean to tell me that after you rejected Kristen and talked about how you didn't think you weren't attracted to her, the fact that she handled it with grace and confidence made her more sexy to you and made you want to have her more? Boy, that's dysfunctional. Go see a therapist about that. But that's what I said even last week. I was saying, in order for Mitch to feel comfortable, he needs you to feel less than him. Then that puts him above you. He doesn't feel great about himself. So people like Mitch, what they do is they put you down, or they don't want to elevate you. They don't want to say nice things about you because truly they already feel inferior to you. So it's really hard for them to say nice things about you because that puts you at even more of an elevated position in their life. So they got to hold back on the nice things. They got to put you down. They got to be mean to you because they never really want you to stand taller than them. That's Mitch's whole problem, is insecurities. He needs to see a therapist. And all this new revelation, he says, but Kristen is so positive. She has so many nice things to say. She's so optimistic. And he admits that he's the quite opposite person. He says, not that I don't love the world or I don't love people, but he says, I can have a negative outlook on the world. Go figure. We figured that out on day one. And you've been with yourself for how many years? 40 years. And you just figuring this out? We knew it. And we've only seen you on the screen for 2 episodes. We already know you got a negative outlook on life and everything else. But it was like I said before, Mitch, he actually probably would need a person like a Kristen, but he won't appreciate her because it isn't a good deal for Kristen, but it would be a damn good deal for Mitch because he has so much negativity in his life. He would need a bright ray of sunshine like a Kristen to be positive in his life. But Justin, on the other hand, he ain't got the same problems as Mitch. He lets it all hang out. And if you watch my video on Justin and Alexis, I commend him for it because I think Justin's vulnerability is brave and courageous. I know a lot of people out here, punking him and telling him all this other kind of stuff. But in a world where everybody is so tough, in a world where everyone is so callous, in a world where everybody masks and hides their real feelings, it is refreshing to see a person who just puts their feelings right out there on their sleeve. The Lindys and the Justins of the world, I'm really enjoying them, especially last season when we had a whole season of people who masked their feelings and covered them up. And we had to peel back layers and layers and layers and layers to get to the real person. It's refreshing to see a person come on camera and just be comfortable with exposing themselves, their insecurities, their faults and everything. And I'm actually enjoying that about Justin, and I'm enjoying that about Lindy. But Justin explains he wasn't always here. He did try to come out and pretend he was this tough guy. And finally, he just settled into who he was, which he says, I am a sensitive person, and I'm tired of trying to pretend I'm a different type of person and trying to pretend like I'm tough, and I got to come with this type of personality. He says he just wants to be who he is, and I'm all for it, Justin. Don't let nobody change you. Be who you are. And of course, he started crying, and they were like, well, how did you know so soon you were in love with Alexis? And he just said, you know what, he made up his mind when he was walking up to the altar long before he even saw her that he was going to be committed. And I tell people this all the time. One of the number one things you need in marriage is commitment. It's not love. It's actually commitment. It's commitment to stay and do the work you need to do, even in those moments when you may not feel attracted to the person, or when you may not feel you like your husband, or you may not feel like you want to do something. It is commitment. But Justin has the capacity, a huge capacity. And you know what? He is sharing it with Alexis right now because she has zero capacity in terms of emotion and vulnerability. And Justin has enough for her, himself, probably you and me and a few other people. He probably could carry us all. And they asked the other fellas, what do you think about Justin's sensitivity? Ben was like, it inspires him. He says, because, you know, we're taught so much to hold things in, and we don't say the things we really feel because we're taught as men not to do that. He said, so it inspires me to, you know, maybe be a little bit more open like that. And even Mitch said, you know what? Mitch chimed in and said, you know what, it really is a selfless act because you're not worried about what you're going to get in return. Bingo, Mitch. Mitch was like, you know, Justin was able to say that he loved her and not necessarily expect anything in return. Mitch has had some self-awareness by the time they're filming this. I don't know what happened to him, but somebody must have told him, you are selfish MF. And maybe he's starting to look deep within and realize it's really not the other women, it's him. But they said there was some funny moments on the boat when they were all together on the boat. They said that Justin and Alexis got really seasick on the boat, but eventually they recovered. They said they was doing belly flops off the boat. They said that Alexis did more than a belly flop. She did a butt flop because they said it was so loud and big. They thought she was injured. And even Justin was like, oh my God, is my wife okay? But it sounds like they had a really good time on the boat, or as Justin called it, a yacht. But she was also asking Mitch, you know, why did you get so wound up this episode? And he was like, I was overthinking it. You know, and I was worrying about, you know, everything her parents had said. And see, this also revealed what Mitch was doing. He was so worried about whether or not the friends approved, the family approved. Then he was whether or not that he could measure up to the expectations the friends and the family had. He was saying he was just so scared to drop the ball. But I'm saying that all points to a person that doesn't have any self-confidence, because he's so wound up that Kristen wasn't going to like him. The parents weren't going to like him. That's why he needs so much validation. He needs Kristen to pour and pour and pour into him and give him so many compliments before he's willing to even come out of his shell. And then when he comes out of his shell, he don't have no compliments for anybody else. I'm telling you, he has deep-rooted insecurities, but it doesn't come off that. He comes off like he's confident, but he's really a very insecure person. You know, Ben said he felt like he was a step behind everybody because everyone had already been married a couple of days. So he said it felt like the whole day they were just trying to play catch up. I could tell that Ben and Morgan were trying to pretend like they're real comfortable with each other. But at this time, they had only known each other half the time the other couples did. So I could see how he was saying they were trying to play catch up. And Justin said he's just trying to keep Alexis feeling comfortable. He knows she's guarded. She doesn't like to be vulnerable. So he's like, I'm paying the toll for everybody. He's like, I'm going to be open and honest and wide open and share all my feelings. So hopefully it gives her a safe space to land. And like I said, I like that about Justin. I like the fact that he's willing to put himself out there so that Alexis can feel comfortable and have sure footing that when she steps on that ledge, she'll be met by someone that's holding her hand. I think that's refreshing. And I hope a lot of women aren't putting Justin down for that, because a lot of women actually need that safe ledge that Justin is providing for Alexis. I really hope that Alexis comes to appreciate it from Justin, because she really needs it. Because although she walks around that she's strong, Honestly, I believe that Justin's strength and showing his vulnerability is way stronger than Alexis. If you watch my video coming up next about Alexis and Justin, I'll explain it even further. But anyway, y'all, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this recap review, and I hope you watch my other videos of the other couples. Talk to you later. Bye.